Welcome back to the Denver Sports Betting Show, presented to you by Stir Pan Creamery. 2 locations, one in Breck, one in Denver. Boys, we made it to March Madness. We have the tournament. We have our brackets. Let's go. Tony and I'm with Anthony. We got Dylan. We got our boy Garrett back because, again, we need you. We need these analytics, okay? Tony and I had the pleasure of going on air today on Fox 31, and we took care of business and, gave a little bit of shine on our champs, so you guys have to watch that, get to that. But we're going to break it down a little bit further for everybody, man. So let's go ahead. Garrett, tell me, man, let's run through each region, so to speak. So let's go to the South, man. Who do you like in the South? Is there any dogs in there? Do you have a specific team you're watching or anything like that?
Yeah, I think the South has the trendiest dog in the whole tournament, and that's the UC San Diego. You're hearing everyone talk about them. They've been on fire. They've been killer against the spread this year. They're obviously peaking at the right time. They're on the longest win streak in college basketball. I think they're on 17 in a row. They get a Michigan team that has just been getting by the skin of their teeth. Anthony, I know you talked about this. They don't blow anyone out. They barely win the games. They turn the ball over like crazy. UC San Diego is one of the best at turning teams over. So I like UC San Diego as the dog there. They are the 12 seed against the 5, and they're getting, I think, 2.5 points. That's what I got it at. So I got UC San Diego plus the 3 here, 12 seed over the 5, and I just think they're the Cinderella story of the bracket this year.
Let's go, man. Dylan, who you like out the South, man?
I like University of New Mexico as one of my dogs, but I also like UC San Diego. One trend that you see in the first round of these games is short underdogs from 1 to 3 points. Cover the spread over 60% of the time, and the favorites only win 39 or cover 39.5% of the time since 2009. So look for those short underdogs of 1 to 3 early in the first round. And yeah, New Mexico, they're one of the best teams in college basketball, ranked 6th in extra scoring chances per game, 6th in possessions per game. Marquette, they can't rebound at all. They don't shoot it well from 3. And then if they win, you're likely going to play Michigan State. Michigan State, one of the worst three-point shooting teams in all of college basketball, can't seem to get it going from 3. If they can't make it from 2, then I don't see a way Michigan State wins. I think New Mexico can be that Iowa State team and make a run to the Final Four. And hopefully we'll see St. John's, New Mexico, Rick Pitino versus his son, Richard Pitino, in the Final Four.
Yes, sir. I'm rocking with St. John's too, man. It's a little further down the line, but I like that. Sham, Tony, let's go, baby.
So in the South, I'm going to make it a three-peat on UC San Diego. I know it's trendy. It seems to be everybody's, picking that 12-5 upset, but for the same reasons everybody else said, trendy. Sometimes these trendy ones get home. Last year, everybody, James Madison was the trendy one. They beat Wisconsin. The year before that, Furman beating Virginia. So these dogs do get home, and as we're picking in the brackets, these markets has just gotten so efficient. And you see a lot of times these, like UC San Diego, they're the best team in the country against the spread. They're 25-7 on the year. The one concern I do have is, Michigan size. They do have the 2 7-footers with Wolf and Golden, and San Diego goes about 6'7", 6'8" across the front line. So that's the concern in that game. But I've still got to go with the hot team. Dusty May is an incredible coach who's gotten it done in these close games. But you wonder, you look at Torvik since February 1st in the last 6 weeks. UC San Diego is a better team metrically. So, I could see them, there's the one long shot if you want to even take a flyer for them to get to the Final Four, because Auburn's going to have a tricky one in round 2 if it's Louisville. And I think it's going to be Louisville playing them in Kentucky. Yep. So that's who my upsets are. Great games here, by the way, the ones in Ball Arena. You'll have that Michigan, UC San Diego. And Yale, I think, is live too as a dog against A&M. We saw the upset last year with them beating Auburn. They beat Baylor a few years back as well too. So we could have a little a UC San Diego Yale matchup in the second round.
That'd be fun.
Dylan, you hyped about your Michigan boys coming to Denver?
I'm hyped about it, but I don't think they're gonna. I don't think they're gonna win.
I think they're getting bounced out, dude.
Yeah, that's why I'm not gonna go. I don't want to see them lose.
They really didn't do many favors with the draw. When you look at these teams that both Wisconsin and Michigan coming out to Denver, Wisconsin just played 4 games in 4 days, and now they got to play Thursday at altitude. And Michigan plays 3 games in 3 days, and they're coming to play. That's 5 games for Wisconsin in a week and 4 games for Michigan. So they're definitely going to be fighting an uphill battle there.
Well, you talk about height, bro. Like 7-footers, the taller they are, the harder they fall, baby. You know how that works, okay? Listen, I'm also rocking with New Mexico as well, plus 146 on the money line all day. Let's go. They beat Utah State Aggies twice this year. Tough team to beat and take care of business. So let's go New Mexico on that front. Let's move on down. Let's go to the West. Tony, Sham, I want you to give me some West. Give me something on the West.
So West, I think, is the hardest bracket. When you look at the firepower in this league, I do think Florida. Spoiler alert: they are my pick to win it all. I wouldn't bet on them to win it all, just because I think the value's not really there.
Agreed.
We were talking. They were plus 900 a week ago. Now they seem plus 350, plus 380. But I think that first game, when you look at Florida, and then they've got UConn, Oklahoma winner. I think UConn still comes out of there. UConn's not the team of the last 2 years.
Right.
And then St. John's at the bottom of the bracket. I do think Texas Tech is the team, though, in this bracket that somebody's going to get Florida, it's going to be them and not the Johnnies. Johnnies just scare me a little bit too much of not being able to be, to get too offensively challenged at times. And I think Texas Tech, if you want to take somebody not off the one line, going down farther down the board, Texas Tech, they're 5-1 to win the region, and then plus 3,000 to win it all. I think they're one of the teams, when fully healthy, that can get it done.
Texas Tech got the juice for sure.
They're great. Toppin's great. They can ball.
They're ballers,
Yeah.
dude.
Me and Chams are on the same page. That's who I like out of that region. I think Florida is the team to beat, but if anyone's going to take him to the wire, I think it is going to be Texas Tech. Texas Tech, they're a good 3-and-D team. They have the star player in JT Toppin. I think their archetype of their build is just built for the tournament winning ball. I like their early round draw. First round should have no problem. Then they're going to get probably Missouri, no problems there, and then St. John. I like them. I like their defense. Yeah. I think they have good 3-point shooting. And the early round potential matchups are good. So that's why I like in the West. Texas Tech Elite 8 plus 185. Texas Tech Final Four plus 600.
Yeah, bro, you fireballing, dude.
Oh, well, and
smelling salts are hitting.
So anyway, we took a hit of these smelling salts. Not we, Garrett, I think, and I think Dylan. These boys are all pumped up now, bro. Mike ain't even to your face. You're just firing up.
We're ready to go, dude. I grew up around Lubbock, dude. So I'm a big Red Raider guy, and I think they have the team that could get there for us. So.
Yeah, bro, you pumped up about it, dude. I like
Fired
it.
up, bro.
Yeah. Dylan, talk to me, man. What you like out the West?
I like St. John's. I have a future with Texas Tech plus 7,500 to win the national championship. But I'm going to take St. John's to make it out here. They have top 20 unit on defense. They get the most extra scoring chances per game, 5th in total rebounds per game. Their 3-point shooting is getting better. I'm just not sure Texas Tech has seen a defense like St. John's yet, and I think we see them squeak it out versus them. And I don't think they'll end up playing Florida. I think Maryland will end up beating Florida in the Elite Eight. Or in the Sweet 16, I think Maryland they have the best starting 5 in all of college basketball, and obviously you worry about depth and injuries. But if those 5 guys are clicking, they match up really well with Florida, and I think they're one of the only teams that could give Florida a hard time. And I think if it's Maryland versus St. John squeaks it out there.
None of you guys are giving CSU the love that they deserve. Are you for real right now? I have them. Listen, this might be as homer as you could get it, dude. I got them going to the Sweet 16, bro. Like, I think they can make it that far and ultimately lose to Florida, I believe is what I had the bracket picked at. I'm telling you, man, they're the hot team coming in, bro. They had 10 straight wins before entering the tourney. Dude, they're balling out of their mind right now.
They're favored over Memphis.
Right? They are 2 points.
They were 5. Yeah.
And they're not playing at altitude, okay? It would make too much sense for them to come here, right? But no, yeah, like, I don't know. I'm giving CSU the shot here, man. Like I said, I like seeing them boys.
I like it. And that brings up a good point. So CSU at 12 against the Memphis 5, and they're actually favored over them. Yeah. So that's a good point for everyone. When you're filling out your brackets, don't just look at the seeding. That's what most regular people do. Look at the point spread. The point spread is much more indicative of who's, like, what upsets are more likely to happen. And CSU, they're favored, and they're the 12 seed, so that's an easy upset pick for your brackets.
Especially when you're in these leagues where you get bonus points, or if seeding gets you extra points based on the upset. Yeah, CSU is a favorite. Nick Clifford is incredible. I mean, he'll be a first round NBA player.
What, 30 points last game, bro?
Yeah, like, Memphis has some injury issues too. So.
Yeah,
I don't think they're very well coached. They're real sloppy. Turn it
over.
over.
Big time coaching mismatch. Yeah. Enjoy Nico while you have him here, CSU fans, because I think he's going to be going to Minnesota.
Maybe that's 7 years. Right? He's been here for a while, so
he's great.
Yeah, man, he's got the squad to back him. And I said, how they're beating these teams, dude. They're beating them way more than just by a 2-point, 3-point. Like, they're murking these teams, dude. No question. Let's move it on, Dylan. I want you to start us off, man. What do we got coming out the East, my man? What do you like?
My dog over here is St. Mary's. I have St. Mary's to go to the Sweet 16 plus 270, to the Elite 8 plus 500. Wouldn't be surprised if they made it to the Final Four as well. If you look at their matchups, I think they get over this Vanderbilt team. I think that's going to be a close game. And then they play Alabama, and we know one thing about Alabama. They take threes. St. Mary's gives them the second least made threes in all of college basketball, fourth in opponents' points per possession. Alabama takes the sixth most threes per game, and I think it could lead to disaster versus a team like St. Mary's, who also Alabama also who also allows the fifth least opponent rebounds. And Alabama, outside of the top 300 in turnovers generated, I think St. Mary's a team who plays slow, not going to turn the ball over a lot. A team who can stop Alabama from shooting threes and stop them from going in. I think it's a really tough matchup for Alabama, and I think St. Mary's could go on a run.
Yeah, man. I said I slightly disagree. I think Alabama could keep. They're going to keep it close. So I do like Alabama over those guys. What you got for me, Dill?
So I mean, we have a good point with Alabama. I think this region is going to be the most fun to watch. The highest scoring games. You got Akron, Arizona. You got Alabama running guns. It's going to be track meet. A lot of track meet games in this region. And because of that, I think it's just the highest variance region as well. We don't know what Cooper Flagg's going to look like when he comes back off his injury. And then Alabama, they could be anyone or they could lose anyone. It just depends if their threes are dropping or not. So I don't really have any futures in this region as far as bets. I do think it's going to be the one I'm most excited to watch, though, and see these teams go up and down the court.
Yeah, man. I think that you got something right there with the. I don't know Duke though. Duke, they said with. It's going to depend on.
They're the best team if Flagg is healthy, in my opinion. Without him, they're probably a top 6 team. They're still super talented. They're really young. You don't really like that in the tournament as much. But with Flagg, I think they are the best team. But we don't know if he's going to be. He's going to go. We just don't know if he's going to be, closer to 50%, 80%, 100%. Right. So that's the big elephant in the room.
Talk to me, Anthony. What you got?
Yeah, I agree with Duke. I think they got the easiest kind of bracket of the 4. When you look at their path, could be a tricky spot if Oregon gets through. We know how good Dana Altman is a coach in the NCAA tournament. Always seems to make a run. Could give them some trouble. But I think again, when you look at what I'm looking forward to is if chalk holds for that BYU Wisconsin game in the second round here in Ball Arena is going to be awesome because those are two teams that just put up threes and can hit from threes. I worry about Wisconsin's in the leg. I could see BYU making a little run out there, and if we have a BYU Bama game in the Sweet 16, that could be incredible. But I think Duke's going to be. I would be shocked if Duke. We talked about it last week. Duke getting to the Final Four seems to be pretty clear cut here.
Yeah, like I said, even without, because again, Cooper's going to come back. So I think even with that, man, the East is so hard for me. It's odd. It's weird. I messed up on my notes, dude. I put.
It's the one bracket where I don't really see many upsets in that first round. I mean, unless you count Baylor. Baylor is the 9 over Mississippi State.
I have Liberty and Akron over Oregon.
I could see Akron.
Right.
I could see Akron.
What's frustrating in this region too? It's a lot of the teams that I want to back, like the bet on teams for me, they play against each other, like BYU and VCU, Oregon, and Liberty. Like I like all those teams, but they all can't win and they play against each other. So
and the fade teams too, like you had the Kansas and Arkansas getting ready to fade both of those, and they're playing each other.
If I had a pick though, like I go again, it's almost a pick'em game, which is Baylor and Mississippi, man. Like I think that's I'm just oof. And I go Baylor number 9. I think Baylor over Mississippi.
Also with Liberty, they're 7.5 point underdogs right now. Since 2008, 5 seed Power 5 teams are 32.5% against the spread. Since 2008, versus 12 seeds.
That's what.
So I like Liberty there.
Okay, see that's good, man. I said again, we're giving the people what they need, babe. We need these dogs, need this money over here. Let's end it with who we got. Midwest. We got the Midwest, baby. Come on now. Who we like out of the Midwest? Garrett, give me something, man.
So I think the Midwest is the softest region in the tournament, in my opinion. And if Houston and Tennessee, they just do their job, they're on a collision course to meet in the Elite Eight. But that being said, I do have a long shot bet in this region that I like. I love this Clemson team, man. They can defend. They have bigs. They bring back a lot of experience from the team last year that made a pretty good run. So I think they're built well for tournament ball. And then, like I said, it's the softest region. So I think they could get through. I think they have the bigs and the physicality to match up with Houston if they get there. So I like Clemson 50-1 to make the Final Four, and then I went ahead and laddered it with the plus 650 to make the Elite Eight, and then plus 150 to make the Sweet 16. So they should have no trouble in the early rounds, and I think they can match up decently well as anyone can against the physical Houston team.
Yeah, let's go H-Town, baby. Come on.
I like Houston though too. Yeah.
Anthony, talk to me.
I think this bracket could be wild. I really do. I think Houston ultimately is gonna come out of it, but in the other first round games. Clemson, Garrett mentions Clemson. I could see them losing first round, going to the Elite Eight. Same thing with Illinois. They could a team. They are so high variance. They could when they're healthy. a couple months ago, seems like forever ago, they were a top 10 team, one of the favorites to win it all. Now it's just they just seem like a shell of themselves. So you don't know what teams you're getting. Same thing with Kentucky. So many injury issues as well too. So I mean, I think you could see this is one that's ripe for some double-digit upsets, I think. But ultimately, again, it's more chalk. But I think there's going to be some fireworks in the first round. But Houston, the 4 teams at the top are just so separated from the rest of the field.
Right.
They are. Like, it's hard not to be chalky. We talked about this, man. It's hard not to be chalky with having, like I said, I almost had to go back. I had to fix my bracket a little bit to not have all 4 1 seeds in my final four.
A lot of times it plays out
It's easy
that
to
way.
go out there. Yeah.
You have some upsets of the at-large teams from the big comp. Like the
Right.
bottom half of the SEC, I think, is getting way too much credit for the top half. So like the Oklahoma and the Texases of the world. Versus these, high mid majors is why you see these short point spread. The market's gotten so efficient with these mid majors; they can ball.
Yeah. Dylan, what you got, baby?
If I was going to take a dog out of there, it would be Clemson. I agree with Garrett. They're shooting north of 37% from 3. They have 2 guys, 6'8 plus, that shoot 38% from 3. But I'm going to take Houston to ultimately make it out of there. But I do have a bet on Tennessee to make the Elite 8 plus 100. If you just look at their path, Kentucky's on it was one of the teams I'm going to fade this tournament, so I don't think they're going to upset Tennessee or anything. So if you take Kentucky out and just look at Tennessee's path to the Elite 8, it seems like no one in that path can really beat them.
UCLA? You don't think UCLA wins over
I
Utah
have
State?
Utah State over UCLA.
Yeah, listen,
No.
I teetered it for a little bit, man, but I'm like, ultimately, I think UCLA takes that game. So I don't think that they would make it
Mountain
past
West
UCLA.
has got to prove it. You got New
see it
Mexico,
first.
you got Utah State.
Yep. We're riding with them. We're in the Mountain West. We're riding with the Mountain West.
Listen, man, I'm going. I like Zags, man. I like Gonzaga over UGA. To be honest with you, -6.5, -5.5. Sometimes you can get them at. I like that. But ultimately, as you guys know, listen again. Spoiler. We're gonna cruise on into the next segment where we talk about our Final Four and our champions. Houston, baby, come on now. Houston takes the bread and butter all day, every day. Guys, that was fantastic, man. Listen, we gave the people what they need, what they want. Get money, get paid. Stay tuned with us, Denver Sports Betting Show. We'll be right back with our Final Four predictions and our championship winners. Get money, get paid. Let's go. Welcome back to the Denver Sports Betting Show. This one is sponsored by Red Rock Spirits. We have their vodka sitting right in front of us and their brand new whiskey, all sustainable, all day, every day. Again, we have actually some of them on tap here, which we're going to go ahead and toast after we break our champions to everybody, which we kind of already let that slip out a little bit. But before we get to that, let's go over some first round best bets. Dylan, I want you to shout me out something. Give me a first round best better, dude.
I'm going to take Creighton plus 2.5. I know it's in Lexington. I know Louisville's hot, but again, short underdogs. When the favorite is 1 to 3 point favorites, these small favorites only cover the spread 39.5% of the time since 2009. So I have to ride with the trends here. And these 8 versus 9 games are coin flips, and number 8 seeds since 2018 are also only 7 and 13 against the spread. So I really like Creighton here. I don't love the spot at being in Lexington, but I'm going to ride with the trends here and trust the numbers. I'm going to take Creighton plus 2.5.
Yeah, like I said, that's like almost like anybody's game at that point. Again, a 2.5 spread is all telling, like Garrett said earlier, right? Garrett, give me something nice, man, for the first round.
First round bet I like is High Point plus 8.5, and it's just like they're a fine team. Sure, they could score with the best of them. I don't absolutely love their defense, but it's more of a bet against Purdue than it is on High Point. I just don't like this Purdue team, and plain and simple, I just think High Point's going to be able to keep it close.
Okay, I like it. You got any other ones out there? I know you said you had a couple,
I
right?
like Colorado State minus the 1.5, and then I know you did mention you like the Gonzaga, but I actually like Georgia plus 6.5 against Gonzaga, and it's totally just buying into the theory that the tougher conference. I just think they played a tougher schedule. They're more physical. Gonzaga, they are good offensively, one of the best offensive teams in the country still, but I think Georgia could slow them down, grind it out, and stay within that number.
I don't know. I feel like they're like almost. I feel like they're very evenly matched, so to speak, just with their notable losses to each team. I mean, again, UGA lost to Florida. Gonzaga lost to UCLA. St. Mary's, they kind of go back and forth with those guys. So yeah, again, it could be anybody's game. That's a beauty about March. There's any of these games could go any which way. Like me and Anthony said, you don't have to be an expert to nail these games down.
Right.
So Anthony, give me something, man.
I agree with 100% on the High Point. I've been just so anti Purdue, fade Purdue, and Painter, his history in the tournament prior to last year with his run with Edey, he's had some early exits. Right. Against Little Rock, obviously the 116 game against Fairleigh Dickinson. So I could certainly see an upset there, as I'll get to another play there I have on that game. But I've got High Point. Another game that I found was interesting that I liked about. was one of the games we talked about here already. Was the UC San Diego? You're not getting the best of the number. It came out 3.5, 2.5, and I kind of talked about it earlier. Is how much these half points and 1 points matter, because it gets to the end of the game, 2 free throws, that's another possession. So always kind of when you're watching these games, have the apps open, because you might get an opportunity live on some of these dogs to get a couple extra points, which could be the difference in winning. So, but UC San Diego is one of my favorites. You mentioned High Point already. The other one that I've got is.
Is this where your parlays at?
No.
Okay.
And McNeese too. I really think I love Will Wade as a coach. I know they were kind of the team last year that was supposed to, be the trendy pick, didn't get it done. But I think 8.5 is too many for Clemson. So those are my dogs.
Let's go, man. Yeah. Dylan, talk to me.
I got one more. I got so Florida, Norfolk State under 154 points since 2018. Unders in the NCAA tournament in general have hit 58% of the time, and in games with totals of 149 or more points, the unders hit 74% of the time. And then you have number 1 seeds first round game since 2018 have hit the under 75% of the time. So all those lining up in this Florida Norfolk State game, I like the under there.
Especially some of these the first half unders too. I mean that's a trend we see of these early start times, half empty gyms, body clock of teams switching time zones. So you're going to really see some low scoring first half, and that's been a trend too as well. In the
that's kind of my general of thumb. Like if you're looking under on a game, look for the first half. If you're looking over, look for the second half, because like you said in the first half, they're at these neutral site games. The sight lines are different. They have these weird start times, and and then it's the March Madness tournament. Like their bodies are tight. That could affect shot making. And then if you like the over, look to the full game, because a lot of these guys, it's their last games. They'll foul extra when they're down 8 or 9 in a normal game. When they won it, they're just trying to drag it out so you can get some extra points there late. So general rule of thumb, if you like the under, look first half. If you like the over, look full game.
Yeah, and depth perception is a real thing. You saw in the NBA bubble. Right. Players play better with the wall behind them. You have teams like Norfolk State are going to go into a big arena and have a bunch of fans behind them. So I like that too for that reason as well.
Yeah, man. Like I said, you know what I like doing too for March Madness is one of my favorite things to do is bet the live totals, man. Live total betting is one of my most favorite pastimes of March Madness, because I got the calculators out, but I got the 3 phones working.
Doing the gambler's math.
Yeah, dude. I'm like, dude, I'm Rayman in there, baby. Dude.
I love it.
Yeah, dude. So that's probably one of my favorite things, because again, you catch a lot of these lines slipping, and you can get a very, very good line as long as you know kind of the pace of the game and the pace of the teams that are playing.
Yeah, if both teams have taken 16 threes and neither of them made a 3, they're probably going to start making threes eventually.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They're going to get hot eventually, and that's a telltale sign is when you look at their 3% or their 3-point percentage. Like that's how you're like, okay, maybe I'm gonna do the over, right? And again, like that's a trend, and we talk about trends. That's a trend that you could definitely continue to monitor and watch. Like for all the championship weeks, man, I was hitting unders like crazy, dude, because all these lines were overinflated. So
just live betting in general, betting on stuff to regress towards the mean is usually a pretty good bet. Like the graphics of March Madness, like Florida on a 10-0 run in the last 3 minutes. Usually that's my cue to bet the other team, right? Yeah. So you could build out a nice portfolio of prices by just betting against these runs.
Well, you can play both sides and have a nice middle opportunity.
100%.
If I had to select an official play from the first round, I'm going Oregon over Liberty. I like Oregon -5.5, -6.5. You get it there. Oregon ranks top 50 in offensive and defensive, points and points against. So I like Oregon all day on that, no question. I
got one more upset.
You got one more upset. Let's go. Come on.
I got Drake beat Missouri. Clashes of styles. Drake is like the team that. What? Did you say Drake?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
I like it though.
Drake, I think a big coaching mismatch. McCollum, 5-time Division II Coach of the Year versus Gates, who's only won one tournament game in his career. Contrast of styles. Missouri wants to go out fast. Drake is one of the slowest paced teams in the country, and it's the old saying, is it easier to speed a team up or slow them down? I'm in the slow it down camp, and I think that it's going to frustrate Missouri again. Another SEC team that I think gets a little bit too much credit for winning games at home in league. Drake, they seem to be the team that just never has quite gotten there, but getting 6.5 points, I think they can get it done. But I'm certainly taking the points with Drake.
Let's go, man. Like you said,
love the Drake.
I love that.
Love the the smoker's jacket says it all, dude. And like I said, a lot of times these games they come down to coaching, man. Like I said, not necessarily the players. Yeah. It's the coaching, it's the strategy, it's the time management, clock management. It's a lot of that does come down to the coaching, which, like you said,
Especially that second day when you're going, you
Right.
know, that second game, you know, guys with the experience know how to prepare on that short turnaround is huge. If you're going to upset a team, get them in the first game, not in the second game.
Right, man. And again, you guys, we don't have enough time, I feel like, to splurge all these picks. So make sure you pay attention to all the social medias that we have. Like I said, we'll have them posted here. Because again, I think we're all going to be going live for the most part and kind of just tweeting and doing some posts on Instagram throughout all these games, because it's too much to really break down in a 15-minute segment.
You're going to some,
so,
right?
Yes, and you'll be there too, right? I'll be at the morning session. Dylan, you be too, right?
I'm debating. If it's hard,
You gotta
because
go see Michigan?
You
gotta go.
want to watch at 8 p.m.? I don't know. That's a little late. That's past my bedtime.
No, you did not. You live like right down the street from Ball Arena, bro. Let's get into it. Let's go back to our brackets, man. Let's talk about our Final Four predictions. Garrett, give me your Final Four.
So my Final Four, my best bet for the Final Four, and you're gonna like this, bro. I like I said earlier, I think Houston, the Midwest, is the softest region, so I think they have the clearest path. I play them at plus 160 to win the Midwest and make the Final Four. In the tournaments, I like gritty, tough, physical teams. That's exactly what Houston is. They play defense, force turnovers, get offensive rebounds. They protect the ball. They don't turn it over themselves. So Houston plus 160. I make the fair on them to win the Final Four. Plus 119. So I would play Houston to win the Final Four at plus 125 or better. So I think that's the best Final Four bet I have on the board right now.
All right. What you got for your Final Four, Dylan?
My Final Four have New Mexico and St. John's, Rick Pitino versus Richard Pitino. And on the other side, I want some chalk, Duke versus Houston. I have Duke winning out and St. John's. Duke ultimately winning the title. But my best bet, I think, is St. John's plus 600 to win the West region to make the Final Four. I really like their team. And if it's that Texas Tech game, they can get over that hump, I don't mind taking both those teams, because even though Florida's good, it always seems like you look at the tournaments, these one seeds don't always make the Final Four. It almost never happens where it's all one seeds. And there's going to be upsets somewhere. So I like where everyone's going to be on Florida, going to be a popular pick. I like Maryland to upset them in St. John's.
Yeah.
Anthony, what you got, man?
I've got all one seeds. I do.
We already know.
I think, again, this is more from a bracket perspective than a betting perspective.
Right, which we needed to differentiate. There is some difference.
And if you're doing some game theory in a smaller league, you want to take some shots, but with you want to have your big dogs live, and we see the upsets that we talked about, but those usually happen in the first round with those teams that. If you're going to pick an upset, pick a team that's going to lose in the next round. These one seeds, I really think they're head and shoulders above the rest.
Right.
So I would take all the one seeds, Auburn, Florida, Duke and Houston. I've ultimately got Florida and Houston, and Florida as the champs. But I do think if you're looking from a betting perspective, looking to find some team with a little bit more value, I think Texas Tech would be my fifth choice, and they're at 30-1 versus all these teams that are like 5-1 or less.
Mm-hmm.
Dang, boy, I like that, man. Except for the Florida pick, okay? My Final Four, we're going Duke, Auburn, Houston, and the upset with St. John's. I think St. John's gets in there. And again, here's the thing. For a betting perspective, if you want some value out there, guys, this is a plus 4,517 bet if you want to put those all together, right? Throw a little French fry at it, okay? Always remember, bet responsibly, but I'm just saying, right?
I say all the one seeds to make the Final Four are plus 1,600.
Right, which is actually, it's not bad. That's not a bad bet at all, no question. And then ultimately, I got Houston winning it, baby. Cougs, man. I think that they'll take care of business. And again, that's a cool thing, too, about all the championship. And that's how you know that March really is madness, because all of these teams to win the championship are all plus money still, right? Plus 400s, plus, and then on down. So let's go, man. Listen, now before we get to it, listen, guys, we are going to be doing Denver Sports Betting. Whoa. Oh, let's go. You're right. I forgot. Let's throw your parlay at us.
All right.
Anthony's got a good one.
I got a parlay. These guys are always dogging me for not having a good parlay, so I've got a fun round robin parlay on the dogs. What that means is we're basically going to bet these teams every which way, and we just need 2 to hit for us to win some money. So it's my lucky 13, because I'm taking all the 13 seeds on the money line. So when you round robin it, go onto the app. It'll have a little drop down there. You can take all 4 to win, which doubt's going to happen if we do. Might not see you guys next week. I'll be on vacation. But if we can get 2 of these to get home, 2 of these 13 seeds, you're just going to kind of crisscross A with B, A with C, A with D, B with vice versa. Run it around, so it's just a small amount. Run it all 4 ways. Let's get 2 of these 13 seeds home. But in the last 8 tournaments, there's been 1 13 to beat a 4. So we just need to get 2 home.
Dude, I do like that, and I am not a fan of round robins. Garrett, do you like round robins, man?
First basket parlay round robins,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
But other than that,
That's good.
not really.
That
You
is a
love
good
first
one.
basket,
Bro, you know
too.
how I feel about first basket. But again,
Race to 10.
not
you know.
enough juice for me, baby. I'm taking them with straight up, man.
I think
Okay.
straight to it.
And I think all of them have a good shot. I think, like I said, we talked about it. I think all of them have a good shot to get there. I think High Point can get there. I think Grand Canyon could get there.
Oh, yeah.
I think Yale's got a good shot. So you look at all the teams. I think all of them got a good shot.
Man, like I said, it's just too much to really break down. So before we kick it on out of here, guys, like I said, we have our Red Rocks whiskey that we're going to toast to. But before then, Denver Sports Betting, we are going to be doing a tournament challenge, okay? Meaning we're going to go ahead and give anybody free to enter, okay? There's no buy-in, no nothing. And this is going to be presented to you by Ameristar Casino Resort and Spa in Blackhawk, Colorado. These guys are hooking us up with a up to 2-night stay, Sunday through Friday, and also 150 food and beverage credit on your room so you can wine and dine. Garrett's a fan of it. He's been there. He knows how it is. Those are my people, okay? Listen, these guys also they wanted me to plug their drawings that they have going on this Friday. I'm sorry, March 28th. They're giving you a chance to win 30,000 lump sum in Penn slot play. They're going to be doing drawings from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. And then also following that on Saturday, they're doing a Penn Millionaire giveaway. It's called the Penn Millionaire $100,000 Punch Your Way drawings. And that is also going to be from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. They're giving you a chance to win a trip to Las Vegas at the M Resort to win $1 million for their Penn Millionaire Tournament, which I will be hosting. So you come on, hang out with me out there, okay? Listen, guys, I want you to run through your championships. We're gonna go real quick, just boom, boom, boom. Okay, who's your champ?
Let's go Red Raiders, Texas Tech,
Let's
35
go.
to 1.
Dylan,
Duke, it's the Cooper Flag show.
Anthony,
Gators.
Houston, baby, Cougs. Let's go, man, all day, guys. Get money, get paid, boys. Let's go ahead and cheers up to this. We got the nice little ice cubes too.
yeah.
Hey, cheers, you boys, to a good season.
Cheers.
Okay,
All right.
let's go. Oh man, I gotta reach, baby. Come on now. Cheers. Give me one more time. Cheers, boys. Let's go. Red Rocks. Get money, get paid. You took that on one slam, dude. You gotta chill, bro.
It's too good.
You
It's too
really
good.
gotta
It's good.
chill, G. Guys, thank you for tuning in. We'll see you guys next week.